the absolute highlights of the year for me is what I'm about to do. We are about to award the annual Frank Kemerer Award to an outstanding high school social studies teacher. We started this award several years ago. Frank Kemerer is the founder of the Texas School Administrators Legal Digest. He's a co-author of the Educator's Guide to Texas School Law. He was a long-time professor of education law at the University of North Texas. And he founded the Texas School Administrators Legal Digest, which is what is hosting this conference today. When Frank left the Legal Digest, we wanted to honor him by making an award in his name. And Frank was a social studies kind of guy. And so he taught law, he was interested in educational policy, and so it was a social studies interest of his. And also at the time that we began issuing this award, social studies was at risk of fading into the background because there was so much emphasis on reading and math because those were the subjects that were tested. So we wanted to bring attention to the many wonderful teachers that teach history and civics and economics and geography. So we decided to give an award to a social studies teacher. Now the TASSP staff is instrumental and is critical in selecting these people. They solicit nominations, and by the way, I hope some of you are thinking right now about a teacher that you may have that you might want to nominate for this award for next year. So TASP goes through the nominations. We got a number of good nominations this year, and we selected our winner. Our winner is Jennifer Chase. She is a social studies teacher currently teaching geography in the Houston Independent School District, and she works at a special school. She works at the Houston ISD School for the Performing and Visual Arts. And if you have never had an opportunity to visit that school, I strongly encourage you to do so. We went down there to surprise her in front of her students with the news that she had won this award. Brent Jaco and myself made that announcement. And we deliberately got there an hour ahead of time so we could get a tour of the school. It's very impressive. It's very inspiring to see what high school kids are doing in the state of Texas. So Jennifer Chase is our winner. I'm going to ask her to come forward. What do you get when you win? Well, you get an opportunity to speak to this group for about 5 minutes. So we want her to have an opportunity to talk to all the principals about social studies or whatever she has to say. You get a plaque, which we have up here, and you get a check for $3,000. Please help me welcome Jennifer Chase.
Good morning. So today is my birthday, and this is a pretty amazing birthday present. Thank you. Just a mere, let's say 25 years ago, my parents were welcoming me into the world, and I'm sure wondering what would become of their firstborn. And to be truthful, being an educator would not have been a wild guess. My maternal grandmother, mother, and aunt were educators. However, as I grew, I knew exactly what I didn't want to be, and that was a teacher. I set out to do something sciencey and important. I was going to be a research meteorologist and work for the federal government. So there I sat my freshman year in college, listening to my professor, being so excited about a grant he had recently received to study fog. Fortunately, at 18, I had the presence of mind to realize that I just didn't share that same passion for meteorology, so I switched majors to history, the subject I had adored in high school, but didn't major in, because what do you do with a history degree besides teach? And I was not going to be a teacher. So here I am, a lifetime later, accepting a teaching award, and I could not be prouder to be an educator. What we do in education is quite simply foundational to our democracy and way of life in this country. We don't get nearly enough credit for our work, and so I would like to take this opportunity to profusely thank Jim Walsh and Ted Siff and the Legal Digest for creating, and TASP and Mr. McAfee for supporting the Kemerer Award. Mr. Walsh and Mr. Jaco surprised me in my classroom in front of my students, and I won't forget how special that made me feel. Mr. Walsh then informed me that in addition to the award, I would have an opportunity to speak to more than 1,000 principals. Yay! After a few days, however, I recognized what a gift this was. And so I want to take this time to address two major issues I see in my little world of education that I believe you as principals have the power to affect: teacher retention and the denigration of social studies in Texas public education. Teacher retention is a pressing challenge in education, and I know you can't pay us more. One of the most significant reasons I've stayed in Houston ISD, which can be a very challenging teaching environment, and why I can't possibly imagine leaving my amazing school, is because I know that I am respected and valued. How? Because my principal, Dr. R. Scott Allen, is a master at letting us know how important we are, both as teachers and as members of our school community. I know he values and respects my opinion because he asked me to help interview for assistant principals, to chair committees, to help with professional development, and most importantly, because he takes the time, without my knowledge, to nominate me for awards to recognize my teaching. Let me ask you all this. How many of you took the time to nominate and write recommendation letters for a social studies teacher this year? Dr. Allen did. Dr. Allen also understands how important social studies education is to me and encourages my relationship with Houston ISD's curriculum department, which also supports me in incredible ways. This allows me to impact education in ways beyond my classroom. So Dr. Allen, wherever you are out there, he is there somewhere, thank you so very much for your constant support and the opportunities you provided me. We know you can't pay us more, but you can let us know how much you value us by investing in our growth. Secondly, I'd like to ask, to plead, to beg, please support social studies education in your schools. I know we are the redheaded stepchildren of your 4x4 curriculum, but I can't impress upon you enough how important a strong social studies program is to your students. Our children today will live in a world of unprecedented access to information. If we want our way of life to survive, we must teach our children how to be careful and informed consumers of this information. There's no better place to practice these skills than in a social studies classroom. In my Advanced World Geography class, we read Why Geography Matters More Than Ever by Harm DeBlay. My students quickly accept that DeBlay is an expert, yet they are horrified when he uses a very strongly worded quote halfway through the book to support his argument. They don't agree with them, yet they still accept that he's right. And believe me, I use this as a learning opportunity. If something doesn't feel right to you, investigate. I show them how to find out where the quote comes from in the work cited. We look up the source and read 2 opposing reviews of the book from which the quote is pulled. I do this to show my students how everybody, including Mr. Harm DeBlay, has an agenda. In history, we call it a thesis. And it is the job of a writer to find evidence to make you believe their argument. But it is the job of the reader to examine that evidence and decide if it's quality information. No other classes in high school are so particularly well suited to this application of critical thought as social studies. We must help our future find ways to recognize when something doesn't sound right, and it is our background knowledge of history, geography, government, and economics that help us realize when something's off. I'd like to leave you with a summary of a recent article entitled, If Americans Can Find North Korea on a Map, they're more likely to prefer diplomacy. First of all, only 36% of Americans can locate North Korea on a map. This is a problem. We live in an increasingly shrinking planet. There is no way to turn back the clock and exist solely within our town, state, or even country. We are a global economy and a global race of humans. The article suggests that geography knowledge contributes to an increased appreciation of the complexity of geopolitical events. The article quotes Harm DeBlay, the author of the book I use, as stating, geography is a superb antidote to isolationism and provincialism, and the American public is the geographically most illiterate society of consequence on the planet, at a time when the United States powers can affect countries and peoples around the world. It is our responsibility as educators to help make the world a better and safer place for our students, and we are failing to do so. We can't close our eyes to the reality that our actions here in Texas affect the future of the planet, and I beg of you, please realize the importance of social studies to our future. I know it isn't tested, but if we can't understand how vital a basic understanding of history, economics, geography, and government is to our democracy, we run the risk of losing it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, speaking of social studies, let's talk about what happened in the Supreme Court, what happened in the legislature. We'll begin our presentation now, and the slides that I'll be speaking